Let's fix a Google Ads unacceptable business practices suspension. I'm going to talk about what this policy is, the common reasons that trigger this policy, and of course, how to fix it. And my name is John with StubGroup, and we are a Google Premier partner and the #1 resource in the world for fixing Google suspensions and policy issues. So let's dig in. I'm going to call it UBP, short for unacceptable business practices. And so UBP is a policy that Google has where Google is basically saying they think there's a significant problem with your business or what you're offering. I want to say there's 3 primary categories of things that UBP fits under. First of all, it could be that Google thinks that you are pretending to be someone or pretending to be affiliated with someone that you are not. We'll dig into what that means here in a second. The second category I'd say would be Google thinks that you are not actually equipped to provide the thing, the service, the product that you are selling. We'll talk about that as well. And then lastly, another category would be that there's a lot of negative press or concerns online about your business, and Google is seeing that and saying you're not trustworthy as a business. So let's break down each one of these things. First of all, Google thinks that you are pretending to be someone or affiliated with someone that you are not. So there are a number of types of businesses that are more likely to trigger this policy. For example, if you are reselling anything and you are using the trademark, the brand name of what you are selling, let's say you're a business that sells Nike shoes or you're reselling someone's software services, whatever it may be. If you are referencing their product by name, if you have their logos and things like that on your website, that could trigger Google to think that you are doing that in a way that's not authorized, either that you are pretending to be them or that you are simply leveraging their trademark, their name in ways that are not authorized. So we'll talk about how to establish connections as part of this video, but that could be something that's going on. And there are, again, particular types of businesses that are more likely to trigger this. Franchises, for example. We see lots of issues with franchises where they are, of course, using the name of the franchisor, and their logo and often their domain name will be very similar to the franchisor. It might be, the Sunshine HVAC of Tennessee.com, and maybe the name of the franchisor is Sunshine HVAC. Just made that up, don't know if that exists or not, but that type of structure is very common with franchises. And so we've seen lots of situations where Google flags that for UBP because they think that they don't realize it's a franchisee situation, and they think that you're mimicking or pretending to be someone that you are not. Again, very common with resellers of any type, of products, of flights, of hotels, booking platforms, any places where you have other trademarks, other brand names that don't belong to you that are on the website. That can be an issue. And there are a number of things that you can do to try to prove to Google and to prove to everyone who's coming to your website that you are legit and that you have the connections that you say that you have. So if you are reselling something, let's say you are an automotive parts brand. So we've worked with resellers in this space. So there's a couple things you can do. If you have direct relationships with the manufacturers of what you're selling, you can explicitly say that on your website. You can say things like, we're an authorized reseller of X company. The most ideal scenario would be actually getting that company, that manufacturer, to link to your website as an authorized dealer from their website. That would be golden because that can prove to Google that you are truly official. A lot of manufacturers and websites aren't interested in doing that. And so other things you can do are get as much documentation as you can about the relationship, about what allows you to use these trademarks, these brand names on your website, and provide that to Google and provide that through your website so that people can access that. So that's super, super important. And there are a number of ways that you can kind of package up this information that we've seen be effective with Google. If you want kind of help with this and understanding what to say, how to say it, we'd love to help. Reach out through StubGroup.com and we can talk through more about the details there. So that's one thing. A second thing would be if you have credibility elements on your website, if you have badges, accreditations, certifications, things like that, link those to supporting sources. So this is a simple example, but Better Business Bureau. If you have a Better Business Bureau logo on your website, hyperlink it to your Better Business Bureau page so that website visitors and Google can actually click on that and see that you truly are A+ accredited or whatever the situation may be. And then do that same thing for, I guess, any logos, accreditations, etc. that you have on your website. Another common reason for UBP being triggered is that Google thinks that you are selling something that you're not able to deliver. And there's a couple nuances to this. So for example, it could be they think that you're truly a scam, that you are selling products or services that you just don't deliver. And so in that case, you need to do everything you can to prove that you're not. You need to actually prove you are delivering the things that you say you're selling. And then another nuance could be related to the offer. So if you are making offers, if you are saying get up to X percentage off, if you are saying, best price guarantee, we beat all the competition in your ads, if you are saying anything along those lines, saying, hey, get a free month of service, a free trial, whatever, you actually have to back that up and support that on the landing page that you send people to from your ads. So for example, let's say you say best price guarantee in your ads. Well, Google expects that when they go to your landing page, they're going to see details about what that means. If you have some kind of price match guarantee, you need to talk about that on your landing page or prominently link to another page on your website that explains your policy. For example, is it hey, people can, potential customers can send you a screenshot of a competitor with a better price, and you'll match that price. Then say that. If it's, hey, you'll refund the difference in price if someone buys from you and then finds a better price elsewhere. Say that. Say exactly where they send that screenshot, how long it takes for you to submit the refund, whether a conversation takes place. Just the more detail, the better. You need to prove to Google, as well as proving to just normal people who are visiting your website, that you actually do what you say you do, and you get all the details there and be very, very specific. And then another thing that can often trigger unacceptable business practices is what I call your digital footprint. It's what Google will see about you when they Google you online. So for example, if there are a lot of negative reviews about you or bad press for some reason, well, if Google could see that and say, you know what, we're not comfortable that this advertiser is a legit advertiser that is treating customers well, and we don't want people who are using Google's ecosystem to be engaging with this advertiser. It's not through advertising because we don't want there to be a bad experience there. And so they might suspend you for that reason. And so, there are obvious things you can do about that. If there are truly problems with your business that are causing legitimate negative press and negative reviews, fix those problems. It's not an easy solution. You got to run a good business and make customers happy and deliver what they're purchasing. But let's say there are just some disgruntled people who don't have good reason to be so, or let's say maybe you purchased the business, it was being run poorly. Now you've revitalized it, you've fixed the problems. Great. Well, do everything that you can to talk about that online. So go and respond to the negative reviews that are being left in a very professional way, explaining what you've done to rectify the situation. You could even reach out to, let's say it's past customers, and say, hey, here's what we're doing to fix the situation. Would you be willing to remove your negative review because we're taking care of you in this way? So forth and so on. So at the end of the day, run a good business, and then be thoughtful about your footprint, your digital footprint, and what comes up when people search for you. So to summarize the unacceptable business practices policy, suspension type, it's a very serious one where, again, it's Google saying, we think your business is unacceptable. We think that you are a danger to the ecosystem and you should not be allowed online. And so you've got to prove to Google that you are legitimate. You've got to be very precise, very detailed, very comprehensive in what you put on your website and in what you put in your appeals to Google to prove that you are legit. You should be a part of the ecosystem. And if you want help in navigating these waters, because it's not as always simple as like a 1, 2, 3 checklist, because this is very nuanced. It's figuring out what do we think Google doesn't like about you, what could the problem be, and how do we comprehensively fix that. And so we have a whole team here at StubGroup who would be happy to help. Reach out through StubGroup.com or check out the link for our free resources on our website that you can get to take a look and try and figure things out on your own. Either way, we're here to help and hopefully solve your unacceptable business practices suspension.